and this one, going back to the black screen and then going to the recording screen. Yeah, a new overlay, which I have to redo because the shield in the middle is not high resolution because I cheated a bit to create this one. But it's a smoke simulation, that's kind of cool. Anyway, so I collect more and more overlays. Obviously, I keep saying that. At some point, there will be a website for you guys to download them. Something like this guy here and so on. But about websites, I have to think. Anyway, let's do something cool. Let me connect to my older computer. Let me remote control my older computer using open source applications. Moonlight is a program, is the client, and Sunshine is the server. Both together giving you a similar experience as, for example, Steam Remote Play, also performance-wise. So I'm running right now in my local network the server Sunshine on my older computer. And let me connect now using Moonlight to my older computer. Bam. Ta-da! And I actually prepared something for you. Because it was fun to create. I actually recorded a video where I remote controlled, built, modeled those things by eyeballing it, everything, using remote control, controlling my older computer through Moonlight and Sunshine. Created a scene in here. But the video is very long and I showed some stuff which I need to edit. And editing the video is not actually worth doing that. But anyways, so let me just explain here again. This is the Moonlight application. Oop. And this is my main computer. Right now, I'm confused with the Windows. Here we go. I got confused. So this is my main computer. And here is my older computer. And I can make this is my older computer. Uses a different Linux operating system. The good news is I believe those applications you can also use on the Windows. Yeah, so Linux I don't think is required, but I would recommend Linux. Also, you can see right now I'm using the strongest connection I have to my disposal, which is my internet router, has the strongest connection. I have also an older Netgear router, which has only 100 megabyte a second. Works also good. I actually did created those, I modeled the scene in Blender while using my old Netgear router, because there is one advantage. I can use a local network without having internet access. It's another layer of security, which I like, but the old Netgear router is very old. It's over 10 years old. And then it even works, remote control even works with a weak Wi-Fi connection. For example, a 2-point-something gigahertz Wi-Fi connection is also good enough to run games. It's playable. The games are playable, but are not, I wouldn't play on it. The latency, the input lag is too high, so that you can enjoy it. But however, with a fast local network speed, you almost do. There are times where I forget. No, even better. While I was modeling my scene, this one here, I forgot that I was using remote control. So, but you feel that there is still an input lag. So don't get me wrong; it's not like a super perfect experience, but it's pretty good. And it's pretty good because those programs are, you don't need Steam or anything. You don't need a program. It's just on you have the control. You know, this runs in your system. You don't need accounts. You don't need to buy anything. You can just use it without any restrictions. That's pretty cool. That's why I like it. And yeah, so you can see me navigating. I think the weird thing is, it works better in a 3D environment. When I do video editing or any kind of two-dimensional work. I can feel the mouse lag more than I can feel the mouse lag while being in a 3D environment or even in a game, which is weird. But it's just, I think this is how I feel it, you know, which feelings do not really necessarily they are not logical sometimes. Okay, for example, when I go, you know, I don't know, let's not do that. Otherwise, I don't want to edit the video again. Or I don't want to edit the video. Yeah, to be honest, I tried to edit the video. I used OpenShot, and OpenShot is fine. It's a video editing software, which I can show you on my target older machine. Where is OpenShot? I think here. This one I would recommend for everybody who wants to just do some video editing quickly. But the problem is that I have to export the video, and the exporting settings, I have to find a sweet spot between quality and render speed and so on, and I don't want to deal with that right now. So I would probably use Blender for video editing, because video editing in Blender is awesome, but you have to know Blender a bit. Anyway, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. No, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to introduce you to this kind of, you know, this is stuff I do right now. So, you know, makes sense for this format. Also, what you see right now, this is basically my, I just eyeballed modeling this guy, but this is a real, this is my project in the real world right now. I'm building a coffee table to hide my older computer. In the coffee table, so that I can roll the whole coffee table / computer into the living room, and we can play, my girlfriend and me can play Worms and all those games we like on this multimedia machine. We don't have in the living room a TV. Once in a while we use a projector because we don't watch many videos. You know, so once in a while we watch something. But, you know, for example, horror movies we don't actually watch, which I find is sad, because I like horror movies. But for that I have to go to my cousin. She likes that. she likes horror movies as I do. Yeah, anyway. But I thought the reason why I'm building this thing is basically, once upon a time I tossed away my garbage and I found 2 gray plates. And this one next to the garbage bins. I live in a city, and they were still wrapped in plastic, and I think they were just a leftover from somebody bought an IKEA furniture for something, I don't know. And I just took them because the wood is pretty strong. It's pretty thick and strong, and I knew I would do something with it. And then I installed some rolls here, and the idea is again that the computer is hidden, or the ugliness of the old computer is hidden in the coffee table. And there is a little bit of a gap here, which is on purpose, because it needs still some air going into the machine. And the idea is, if the thing is completely sealed, right now this is actually how it looks in the real world, so the sides are not closed here. This is how far my progress is. But if this thing is completely sealed, then I will be able to access the inside by taking off the lid, or the top plate, which connects to the whole system with an L-shaped wood to make, you know, to seal that, so it's not wobbling around, right? This is how I connect that. And these guys hold the whole thing. Yeah, that's the idea. There's only one thing which is not installed yet. So let's say this is a glass of water. Let's say I spill over a glass of water. The water runs down the surface here, and usually what does water do usually? Timmy, what does it do usually? It collects the water here, like in the middle somewhere. And if that would be the case, we spill over water, it will drop into my computer, and then that's the end of the nice Worms play. So I thought an easy solution would be just to maybe I buy like a cheap plastic plane, so that when the water is dripping down, the main top surface, we have enough reaction time to actually plug out the extension cord. Idea is only that only one cable has to stick out, which is the extension cord cable. This is the idea. And you know, we have enough reaction time to plug it out and to wipe away the water. This the same principle for this guy. I have to make sure that the water is not, if there is water, you know, if we spill over, toss over a glass of water, that this guy will not just, you know, explode. In simple terms, that's something I have to figure out still. And here is a little, and see right now you can see I don't, what the heck. Hey, every time this I just did something, but anyway, had nothing to do with the remote control, but just when I started to point out how I forget that I'm remote controlling my older computer, something weird happened. Yeah, so I it's, you can feel, I think maybe, yeah, but you forget once in a while that you use remote control. So here would be, here's a hole somewhere. This is how the guy looks. Now idea is that the cable go into this area. Right now this plastic, this guy here doesn't exist. So it's not actually there. And the whole thing is not, when I modeled this guy in Blender, I did this very fast. Just eyeballed everything, but I need to do this again because I actually rebuilt my apartment. It's not done yet, with the right measurements and in Blender. I can also show you that once, which is really cool because whenever you wanna build something new in the apartment, you have the real world measurements and they do fit very, very well. And you can always, you know, take nice render pictures and go into you can go into you know, IKEA or something and check out if furniture or things would fit in very well. And for that reason, I need to rebuild this whole thing with the real world measurements. Then I can be sure, or dimensions. Yeah, dimensions would be the right word. So, and then I can see where I can position stuff in my apartment. I don't do this so often, but you know, it's nice that you can do it. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, and the good thing is also then I can, you know, roll it aside again because, you know, we are both artists. My girlfriend is a proper artist, meaning she actually went to you know, she actually studied it. I didn't. I'm more like, I'm a lost person. You know, I didn't know what I was capable of, which is true. But it's okay. It's okay. So we are both different in similar in some way. But the main point is that the living room is also a little studio, you know, and we keep things flexible until maybe, you know, could happen. We wouldn't be against it. Well, but let's see. Then we would have less space. But we never know, you know. We're also older, so we'll see. It's one of the good things in life, you know. Sorry, what is that? There's some little glitch. What did I do in here? I think I just used the other one here. Yeah, anyway, so that's just something I wanted to share. I was very excited sharing this with you guys. I'm so excited about, you know, it's so cool. Please check it out, yeah. No. It is a cool thing. You probably don't see the video anyways. It's whatever. Whatever. But it's a really cool system. I like it so much. I also like to experiment with Linux because I think there's so much potential. I was thinking maybe also the coffee table could be like a central backup system where I can, you know, use Linux and then maybe Samba, which is a file sharing thing. I just saw a little glitch here. But let's say as an server, right? But the problem is this is an older machine, and older machines are actually drawing too much power to use them as server. I think a better fit would be if we would use like a little, let's say, something like, come on, let's do it fast, because you can do that. Yes, I know, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. I can do anything. So let's say we would have, even that is, I think, meanwhile they are pretty small. Like, you know, like a little computer, like this guy here, you know. And then, so I had an idea, maybe I can create, because I don't need necessarily a NAS or anything. I don't like the idea of having a NAS, because it doesn't make sense to me, to be honest, because I'm pretty okay with what I have right now. So the way I back up is I'm using all my important files are on an external SSD, which I regularly back up with using Robocopy or rsync, depending on the operating system. And that is actually working very well for me. So having a NAS, which another computer basically running all the time, doesn't make much sense, except if you collaborate with other people. That would be the only reason to have a server somewhere where you can access your files together. But so far, this is not happening anyway, so yeah. Anyway, whatever, that's the video. Auf Wiedersehen, that's all. Bye bye.